All right, bet family. Welcome to our market review for today, man. First of all, hope everybody's in a great, amazing week. I want to go ahead and give you guys some updates of what's going on. So, if you guys don't know, may or may not know, we have our Atlanta link up. So, if you're in the ATL area, um, please hit me up. We have our Atlanta link up from June 8th to June 11th. We're really gonna be diving into the business, really diving into trading, really just connecting with us, having a good time. We're gonna get lit, of course, obvious, duh. But at the same time, we'll have some business, we'll have a good time. I'm gonna bring my camera down. We're gonna take some photos, people got good content. We're just gonna have a great time. I think this is gonna be something really, really fun that we're gonna do. So if you are interested in working with me in Atlanta, definitely hit me up because I was able to get some spots filled up. But if you're somebody who's interested in coming to Atlanta in June 8th to June 11th, which will be next month, definitely hit my line. We can definitely make that happen. For those who have already secured their spots for it, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. You guys are definitely going to have a great time of your day. So let's dive right into the market review. Let's dive right into market review. So we're going to start with news first. We have to dive into what are we talking about for today. Because at the same time, I think NFP was last week. Yeah, NFP was last week. So we are definitely heavy into like the inflation. We are definitely heavy into all those different releases and stuff like that. So this week, I think we're going to be heavy into Euro news. From what I'm able to understand about the market when it comes to just how the news cycles go, the United States really takes the lead when it comes to inflation numbers and unemployment numbers. They really take the lead on that because I think that has something to do with the dollar being the world reserve currency. So they really do lead the way with those kind of dollar news ideas. So we know it's Mother's Day today, so we have some NZD news and JPY news. This is not really important. That's, as you guys know, yellow folders are really, really low impact, so that's not going to affect our trading abilities. So tomorrow, Monday, we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index. That's not really going to affect the currency as much. As you guys can see here, this is based off of this is the leading indicator of economic health because businesses react quickly to market conditions. They always say that why traders care, but what we got to understand what it actually means. It's the level of diffusion index based on surveyed manufacturers in New York. You know what I mean? So like manufacturers and survey stuff like that, I don't really see that as a threat or any kind of influence in the market. As you guys can see as well, we see housing, wholesale sales, PPI, German WPI, monetary policy meetings. So if you guys were looking at something that's going to really affect your trading, I always look for like banks talking. So the FOMC member, Kawasaki, US dollar, that's not going to do a lot. I only care about Powell. Powell has the most power. So if Powell's the only person talking, like if Powell's talking, then that's what I care about. All right. So if Powell's the only person speaking, then that's all I really care about with FOMC, stuff like that. So I'm actually going to go IG. I'm actually going to go ahead and go IG live. Let's get this thing going. We'll dive right into it a little bit more here. To do. Go ahead and drop in the chat, guys. How you guys have been feeling, man? You guys been feeling this good this week? You guys had a great Mother's Day. How was y'all Mother's Day? Your Mother's Day was good. Oh man, hope y'all Mother's Days have been really, really good. All right. Hope y'all Mother's Days have been great. Drop in the chat how y'all Mother's Day have been. They've been good, bad, indifferent. I've actually had a lot of people say like they don't have their moms anymore. So, it's very, very sentimental, like going on people's pages and stuff and seeing that, their moms were not the best. So yeah, it was okay. Unfair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. We'll get into Tuesday. So Tuesday, we got a lot of heavy news. All right. So let's talk about it. So if you see anything, the claimant count change, so definitely that's going to be something with red folder with the Great British Pound. So you guys definitely want to study the Great British Pound on that ideal, just because that is going to affect. Let's actually like read the details of it. I like reading the details in it. So the change of the number of people claiming unemployment. So you almost can treat this as a unemployment claims for the United States, right? So we have our unemployment rates, unemployment numbers. You can almost view this as something similar to the Great British Pound and the people in Europe reporting that they have unemployment, right? So you definitely want to take a look at that as well. That can definitely highly affect the Great British Pound, heading into London session. So be on the lookout for that. So another thing that I could be looking out for is the CPI for the Canadian dollar. So CPI and core retail sales and retail sales. So let's dive in that really quickly. Just give you guys a little bit of a crash course of what the CPI means. So the CPI family is the Consumer Price Index. Now, when you're reading in detail, it's the change in price of goods and services purchases by consumers. So when you really want to look at it, this is about like, okay, you have how much it is to buy a cup of water, right? Then how much is to buy gas? How much is to buy clothes, right? So common goods that we pay for, those numbers fluctuate up and down all the time. So when those numbers come out and these percentages, that's showing you the difference in the price of our common goods that people buy. Now, I know it says the Canadian dollar, but you got to understand that Canada is literally in the same time zones as the United States. Like Canada is almost just as big as the US. So if something happened in Canada and because of the allies, and you can dive deep into the rabbit hole of politics and how the relationships are going between goods and services, I just look at it that they're right there. Like the Canada is right there. That could be a direct reflection of what can happen in the United States. So you look at every single Canadian dollar pair in the foreign exchange market that you're going to be trading, that's going to be affected, especially during New York session when stocks come out. Gold is going to be moving. Indices is going to be moving. So you always have to take that into consideration and do the research. Okay, what kind of relationships does the Canadian dollar have with American goods if you wanted to dive into it? So I know one thing, the Canadian dollar is connected to oil. It's connected to oil. So if something happens with, the Canadian dollar, we should see U.S. oil change in the market. You should see a change because the Canadian dollar and oil have a relationship. All right. So that's something you can look into. Core retail sales. I think that's a clear indicator of what that means. All it says is the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, excluding automobiles. Now, what does that mean? Are we, as people, going out there, right? Are we going out there and buying goods? That's pretty much what retail sales are. Are we as people, do we have the money to go out and boom, buy goods and services? Are we doing that? That's something that we got to think about. So we can almost play a little bit of a sentiment here. Now, I'm not saying this is what I think. This is what I believe. What I believe is we're still fighting a recession, right? We're still fighting a recession that the government hasn't said we're in one yet, but we can feel the pressure on it. So, groceries are going up. Remember, guys, the eggs things were happening. So there is a lot of influence in how we're buying our goods and services. So retail sales is going to be a big deal in the market. And by looking at this chart, literally, you can see that previous was 0.8% in their forecast to have a positive percentage change. Doing the math on that, that's almost a 1.3% difference, if my math is correct. That's a big difference in a currency difference in exchange of money. So we should see on Tuesday a big news. We should see a lot of movement in the market. Now, especially we should be seeing that in technology, right? Are people buying iPhones and cars, like not automobiles, right? So we should see that a lot in NAS. Maybe the stock market's going to be definitely affected by this. We can see that in the Dow Jones and the S&P, but our US dollar and gold is definitely going to be affected on Tuesday. So definitely be on the lookout on Tuesday, May 16th for that to happen. All right. So May 17th, right? I actually got somebody on Instagram said 100% a recession is here. I'm in sales and no one with good credit wants to buy anything. That's wow. And you make 200,000 a year. So you don't even want to buy. Exactly. So even people who have capital, who have leverage, don't even want to make certain purchases towards certain things because it's not even worthy the investment. You can correct me, Eric, if you don't mind. You can see that even people who have the funds understand money really well. So they know that I'm not just going to willy-nilly just go out and make a purchase unless it's good, worthy of an investment for myself, my family, my wife, my girl, my kids. I just pretty much your family, right? So are we making good money decisions? Are we money conscious right now? Is my spending worthwhile? Am I making the best financial decisions in this period of time with the with the economy doing what it needs to be doing? And you don't have any control over that. You know how crazy that is? a lot of times we don't even have control over that piece. So, well, we definitely have control over the certain dollars that we are spending in our lives. So always being conscious of that and watching how the market's going to fluctuate on Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, we have the Bank of England. So BOE, Bank of England, that is the Great British Pound. If you see a red folder and you see BOE, Bank of England, Government Bailey speaking, that is important. They have control. Think about Government Bailey being like Jeremy Powell for the US dollar. The Bank of England is just as important, right? So you guys got to understand, anytime some of the bank experts speaking, especially with a red folder like this, we are definitely going to see the market move. So on my London session traders, be on the lookout for some stuff from there. Also on Wednesday, we have the Australian dollar with unemployment changing unemployment rates. I'm going to be transparent. The unemployment rate in Australia, it barely moves. It barely moves, but that piece of news is huge. Just as much as the United States, like just as much as the United States dollar and unemployment rates, any country that has a major currencies that has an unemployment rate come out, that's definitely going to be a big deal. And it even says down here that today, crazy fun fact, anybody, Americans spent a record of $35.7 billion for Mother's Day. So let that be known. People have money, but they're being decisive on where they're going to spend it. So what could that lead to you as a trader when news is coming up? Fundamentally, what do you think that could do to the market? What do you think that can influence on how the bigger picture, the banks, the market movers are going to react for any of these news coming out? So that is Wednesday, May 17th. Let's dive into May 18th. So May 18th, unemployment claims. I think that's like self-explanatory. Unemployment claims. Do people have jobs? So understanding right now, and you could just look on Twitter and social media and just get a feel, right? It says it right here, previous 267,000 were unemployed, and now we're saying that it's going to drop. Now, if the forecast says that it's going to drop, that is a positive influence for the dollar. But we have to understand how recessions work, right? If we want inflation to be normalized, and this is research based off of some studies I was looking into as well. We got to understand that right now we almost want less people to have jobs so that inflation can be lowered. It's almost like inflation is telling us that we need to stop spending so much money. But that doesn't just imply to, us as consumers. That can be a big deal for jobs and for businesses because they got to have money and enough money to pay their employees. And if the business not making money, they can't pay their employees, and that means people losing jobs. So, think about all those big layoffs. Think about all those layoffs those companies were having. And you got to look at it. Were they just laying off the job because, maybe because of AI? Or is they laying off people of those jobs because they didn't have the funds to hold up those people and pay them what they're making? So something to think about, something I always ask myself in my head. And I know a lot of people go in the comments and give me a better answer, but at the end of the day, that is kind of stuff that I just want to think about. So unemployment claims on Thursday is definitely going to cause the market to move. We have bank holidays on May 18th. So all my London session traders for the French bank and the German bank, nothing's going to happen. So definitely look out for something going on there. Then we have Canadian dollar is going to be having some talks with the Bank of Canada, BOC, Bank of Canada. So we'll have something happen there. So we definitely have to be be conscientious of that. Oh, that's going to be coming out. So let's be ready for that. And then on Friday from a currency standpoint, retail sales for the Canadian dollar, even though it's an orange folder, we definitely said we cannot take that serious, but we have the G7 meetings. Check this out. The G7 meetings are attended in finance ministries and central bankers from 7 industrialized nations, Canada, Italy, France, Germany, Japan, and the UK, right? And the United States. These meetings are closed to the press, but officials usually talk with reporters throughout the day. And a formal statement covering policy shifts and meeting objectives is usually released. So I want to talk about that. I actually want to dive into the G7 because G7 is something that a lot of people don't understand. So let's get into G7. So let's go into the G7 meetings. So if we don't know what the G7 meetings is, so meeting is going to be in Hiroshima. Looks like it's going to be in Japan. So let's actually pull up the Reuters website and let's dive into the G7 Hiroshima summit. This is an article that came out 4 days ago. You may have not seen this just because of all the stuff that happened in Texas. We have all the stuff that's happening in Texas with the border laws. We had, the mass shootings going out. So this might be something that you may have slipped under. And that's typically what happens when it comes to these big meetings. The media will throw a whole bunch of crap in your face of, not saying that's not important, but stuff that, we miss out on these kind of meetings and these kind of news deals because the G7 summit, these people, let's just go in. I'm going to read it right here. Leaders of the 7 of the world's richest nations will meet next week at the G7 summit in Hiroshima to discuss geopolitical, economic, and climate issues as the war in Ukraine drags on and the tensions rise between China and the United States. It's an informal grouping. Informal. That means anything's on the table. You can just almost imagine what kind of conversations are on the table now. If it's informal, I just like to think, what kind of conversations can be happening? Look at that. Every year it changes. Presidency, priorities, loose summit, right? Who's attending? Look who's attending. US, Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan. Right? This year, the leaders of Australia, Brazil, Comoros of the African Union, Cook Islands are those who are invited. This has been allowed since 1973. OPEC oil embargo, a forum for the richest nations to discuss global economic issues. Everybody's involved. Everybody's involved. So what's on the agenda? So Ukraine is on the agenda. China's on the agenda. The nuclear non-proliferation. That's just new. That's actually new to me. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I actually never heard of the nuclear non-proliferation. I never actually heard of that. AI, come on now. Look, not originally on the agenda, the rapid ascendancy, meaning incline, of generative AI artificial chatbot ChatGPT. It is so big. EU lawmakers urge G7 leaders to find way to control its development. Like, think about this for a second, guys. AI is here. Me and my family had a great discussion about this. The fact that, AI has been around, probably the government has had it forever now, which is completely fair. But we have to think about AI has impacted economies so much that now these 7 biggest economic countries have to have a discussion about it now. It's almost like that we as investors should start looking at it and going, okay, if the biggest economies are going to sit down and have a meeting about the impact of AI, shouldn't you as an investor, as a trader, as a content creator, as a business person, should be on top of AI development like nobody's business? Yes or no in the chat? Wouldn't it be advantageous of you if the biggest world leaders of the world are going to have conversations about it? You should be doing research on it. You should be looking at, okay, how can AI help my business, my content creation, right? Because everybody on social media is doing it, right? Especially the people I follow. So are you taking advantage of AI? And I know a lot of us right now may not be using AI for trading. I don't use AI to trade, but I definitely use AI to help me solve people's problems, help me become a better leader, help me learn how to make my content creation, organizing my day a little bit better. I'm now using artificial intelligence not as a way, as a crutch, but as a way to spark my ideas. And here's my only thing about AI, and I want to move into the charts. Here is my only thing about AI I want us to be conscious of. AI is also, just because AI and people saying, oh, AI is going to breed a whole different level of millionaires, I think on the flip side, one of the unwanted consequences of AI, it's definitely going to breed a new level of laziness. That's my opinion. I think AI today is going to breed a new level of laziness because now people are going to lack the ability to come up with their own creative ideas. And here's what I say about this. Our brains, I think it's the amygdala. The amygdala, the hippocampus in our brains are designed for dreams, for fantasies, and for like creating new ideas and creativity. The amygdala and the hippocampus in our brains are housing those things. So now if we have a computer that's literally doing the creative work for us, right? If we have a computer like AI that is constantly creating the ideas for us, I believe that's going to breed a whole new different level of laziness. Now, I'm not saying that the laziness being that, oh, I'm not smart enough to do anything. That's not what I'm saying. But I think there is still beauty in really creating something from scratch. Like, I think there is a fine line and there's an art to creating something from scratch, knowing that you spent the time, you went out and got inspired, you went out and wrote the idea down. You were the one who spent the time and sat down and did the work and then made it happen. I think there's beauty in that. So do I use AI to this day? Yes, I use AI, but I also don't allow myself to become a crutch to AI and lose the creative abilities that I've been blessed with. I still go out and create new experiences. I still go out and get inspired. I still do my research. I still study on my own. So just because ChatGPT tells me, hey, these are the things you need to do, that's great. You told me what I need to do, but let me do research myself. I think it's like, I don't want to be robbed the opportunity to learn. I'm going to say it again. I just don't want to be robbed the opportunity to learn. That's my stance on AI. So I've been doing trainings on AI about, I've been doing content trainings and stuff like that as well. And I haven't been recording them. And I've been saying, F it, y'all. I'm going to record every one of my calls and I'm posting them. So everybody can see them forever and ever and ever. I'm just going to keep doing that now. Because it's just, that's just what I want to do. I want to give the game away. I really want to give the game and stuff like that. So when we do another AI content creation call, it'll be recorded. It'll be dropped on YouTube and it'll be hours long. From start to finish to scratch. I've done 3 calls so far on AI content creation. If you missed those calls, I feel bad. Be on the next one. I've been showing you guys, I've showed CapCut, I've done CapCut all the way to Premiere Pro, all the way to websites you can use. And just because of that, family, today, I actually want to show you my website. Like, because of AI, I've been able to leverage my ideas. I just created a website. Now it's tweaking right now. It's in those pre-stages, but check it out. Bada bing, bada boom, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy's got a website. It's here. I spent the time, I sat down and I said, yo, what do I want to put? So I wrote everything down. And ladies and gentlemen, your boy's got a website. So now we have a website, and I want to show the people on Instagram as well. Like, website is live. So I'm going to be sharing this with the whole world very, very soon. I have not done into the pictures yet. I have to do a little bit of tweaking. But as you guys can see, literally the whole point of it is going to be financial literacy, a guide to trading, credit, taxes, finance, and content creation. Right? Why trading is so important. You guys can see I got the academies here: stock trading, forex trading, crypto trading, and futures trading. We'll have credit scores and management, why your credit matters, managing debt, how to improve your score, navigating and maximizing taxes, all like that. Personal finance tips, budgeting, debt management, and retirement planning. We dove into content creation, how to build your brand, increase visibility, generating leads, meeting the leaders. I'm gonna update it here, so you guys are going to see my face and other different leaders on this website as well. So if you also want to be a part of this website, I am definitely open to putting your profile on this website, and then people can just use this. I am so down. So if you want to be somebody on my website, just divvy on the side, I would love to add your profile onto the website, your own bio, your own webpage. So definitely hit me on the side if that is something that you want to do. And then some little bit conclusion, right? So definitely tap into that. And so the website will be officially dropped for the entire world very, very soon. But this is kind of the pre-launch for it. This is me in the development stages. So I love y'all so much, man. This is my website, man. Drop it in the chat if you're excited for the website to drop. I definitely just want this to be a website where people can just come in and, everything that they need and everything that they want to dive into. And if they want to find me, they want to find my content. I just felt that doing 300 links all the time is a lot to me. So I definitely just I want everybody to get connected to me directly. So I'm gonna have a website. Of course, I'm getting my own personal updates while I get the charts pulled up and we actually go over the charts. But I like I said, we have, Linktree is cool, but I want to upgrade from that. Like, Linktree is cool. Everybody got Linktrees. I want to do a website. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. I want to do a website. I don't want to just do link trees all the time. You know what I mean? So I want to do my own website. I want to do something bigger, right? I have to think bigger than the masses. I want to do something different. So the link trees are cool, but dude, if AI is around, get yourself a website made. Find AI to build you a landing page, not just a link tree, right? Up your game. Be unique. Be unique. Do something different. Everybody got link trees. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? I went so far and I got a website made. Never done a website before, but I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone because that's what it's going to take. If I want to stand out in front of the masses, if I want to show people that the fundamentals of trading, the fundamentals of just money is the difference between you getting rich and you being poor, yeah, I'm going to take the time and I'm going to set this thing up myself. So that's what I did. So don't be afraid to stretch yourself. Don't be afraid to stretch yourself. Don't conform to what everybody thinks is cool, right? Stretch. So we're going to go ahead and pull up colors. Let's dive into the charts. Let's dive into the charts today. We're going to go over a few setups and then we're out of here. Not a lot to talk about. It's market review. Let's go over the setups. As you guys know as well, we will be diving into colors on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week. I don't know if you guys saw on the flyer. We'll be diving into colors Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, very highly in depth. So let's look into oil for today. Oil, pretty bearish heading into this week. So I definitely could expect oil to fall into the 67, 68 range. And how do I know that? Is definitely just looking at the overall momentum of the trend. So as you guys can see, if we zoom in on it here, and we actually zoom out and look at the market from a more holistic perspective, we can actually see on here higher highs and higher lows where we have a big downtrend going on, right? We know this, guess we just can't do it like that. Maybe we have to just, I'll highlight our higher highs and higher lows here. So we have our higher high over here. And then we have our lower low down here. We have a higher high. Then we have a higher low, higher high, higher low. And then we have our lower high over here. So I definitely could see the market coming down here and creating a new lower low for oil. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I can have tendencies of that. We got a whole bunch of red for those who know colors. Red is the indication of the sell. So let's zoom in on it here. So if we are looking for a trading opportunity for oil, I would definitely have a stop loss range for any kind of sells. I definitely would love a stop loss within the 7,200, 72 even level to be safe, 72. But if we need a actual good TP to follow proper risk management, to follow our risk to reward ratios, right? So we definitely want oil to, if we want 72 to be oil, so you can maybe sell some sell limits right here in the 71, 70 range. You can set some sell limits up here if you want some better entries. So definitely get some sell limits in there for oil. But I think for this week, we have oil dropping all the way down to the 68 level. And if we wanted to get a nice, good swing, I would love to see oil hit $66. Now, my reason for 66 being hit, as we guys could see, this wick that happened a couple weeks ago, I would want these orders all the way down here to be filled. All of them, right? There's money sitting here. And we'll draw a little more, like there's a lot of money sitting down here because of this liquidity grab. So I can definitely see if people have been bullish on oil, we can see a lot of stop losses down here. There's a lot of money sitting here. So I would like to see oil come down to that 64 level this week to definitely clear out these orders. Will it happen this week? It may not even happen. But my overall bias for oil this week is going to be bearish. Just because it's following trend, we're catching it a little bit in this lower low here. In the overall downtrend, right? We have a higher low, higher highs, lower lows, higher lows, lower lows. Now we have a higher low. Now I can see some new lower lows in the 64 range. So if I want to take a trade, I could definitely take, a trade from here all the way down to 64. That'll be a 3-to-1 ratio. Definitely good risk to reward there. So I like to see a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio for oil. Any questions on oil? Anybody have any questions on oil? Or if you're good on oil, drop a 7 in the chat if you're good on oil. I want to say what's good with the social media game. What's going on with y'all, man? We talking about markets. We talking trade today, man. All right, cool. How about a little medicine ball from Starbucks? Cool. Cool. All right, let's get into gold. We love gold. We love gold. So let's take a look at gold for this week as well. So we have a lot of consolidation, in my honest opinion. Gold has just been choppy, right? Like gold has just been sitting in this choppy market. You don't even have to be super smart to know trends, but like, just look at it. It just looks like a mess. How do you know which one to invest to? Okay, are you speaking about stocks? Clarify that question. Someone asked me on social media, how do you know which one to invest to? Clarify that. What you know about stocks, I do know about stocks, but is that question geared towards the stock market on what I like to invest to, or more currency trading? Clear that for me and I'll give you a proper answer. So gold, right? Lots of choppiness going on. And I want to talk about what happened these couple of days. So we know we look into gold over here and just these news candles here, right? Big new candle. Yes, it is more currency trading. Okay, so someone asked me, what do I know like to look into when it comes to currency trading? Hopefully this answers your question. So with currency trading, for those who might know, like, oh, what does Aaron like to look at? I've been doing this for 5 years. And a lot of knowing what I like to look into was a lot of trial and error. Being transparent, a lot of it was trial and error. I had to try different pairs. I had to try different strategies. I was not a fan of indices for probably 3.5 years, meaning S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Dow Jones. I wasn't touching it. It is something about it. I just was not touching it, right? But as you learn more how to trade and the more you get into it, you're going to find patterns that you just like how they move. You have confidence about them. You're able to analyze the movement of the candlesticks, the trend lines, the fundamentals of the pair. So if you're somebody to look into, okay, what do Aaron like to know? How I like to know to invest to? There's multiple different factors. And I'll give you a list of factors on why I look at certain stuff. My past trading history. So all of us got MT4s and MT5s, right? A lot of us got MT4s and MT5s. Look at your trading history. Go back in time. Look at which pairs you've been winning, which pairs you've been losing. That could be a great indication. If you are winning, and let's say, for example, you're trading indices and you just seem to not make $1, maybe you don't need to trade indices anymore. It's almost like wasting money. But if you're trading gold and you've been making money on gold for months and months and months on hand, then yeah, study gold. Get really good at it. Get really good at gold. Family, transparently, I don't look at the whole market. I don't. I study the pairs that I know that I want to look at. And that just comes from looking at my MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 history. It tells me where's my success rate, win-to-loss ratio. So that's one indicator. Second indicator, do you have a genuine interest in learning? I have to put it like this. If you don't actually have a genuine interest in learning about a pair or a commodity, don't mess with it. Because then you're trading it for the wrong reasons. It's almost like a person. Listen, I'm gonna use someone on social media. P Dollars, right? I think P Dollars is super cute. She's sweet, she's smart, she does a lot of stuff, and I'm interested in her, then I'm gonna do my research. I'm gonna figure out what's her mama like, what's her daddy like, what's her favorite flower, what does she like to do, what are her fears. I'm gonna put genuine interest into that person because I'm genuinely interested in learning in that person. I'm actually invested in learning about her. Think about that for trading for a second. Let's say you've been trading gold and NAS and US 30 and S&P. So y'all do this for me. Drop in the chat your favorite currency pair that you like to look at, that you know you can trade, that you like to study. Drop in the chat. What's a currency pair that y'all mess with? Yeah, social media, y'all do it too. Drop a currency pair or an indice or a stock that y'all like to look into. Okay, we got AED JPY. So, Steph, here's something you could do. If ADJPY is what you like to mess with, then sis, study it up. Study everything you can. Back test it. Look at the relationship of the Australian dollar and the Japanese yen from a political standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. Do they have a relationship outside of the charts? Because understand, family, the charts is just a visual representation of price manipulation over a period of time. That's all a chart is. The chart is a visual representation of price manipulation over a period of time. That's all a chart is. But think about these candlesticks, family. These candlesticks don't just form for no reason. They form because somebody made a decision. A deal was made. A decision was made. A contract was written. In economics, something happened. So if you liked AUD/JPY as a currency pair, study the Australian dollar, study Japanese yen. Research. You should want to learn about it. Because then when you go on the chart, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I don't know how I'm losing my voice already. So now when you go on the chart, I got my water over here. This is why you gotta have water. So now when you guys look at the chart and you see a similar pattern, guess what you can do? You can attack on it. You'll have no hesitation. Because guess what you're gonna say? I've seen this before. We do it with people, right? Red flags, green flags, right? You know, the red flags and the green flags that we do for people all the time, do the same thing for trading. Oh, this is a red flag. Don't trade. Oh, this is a green flag. Get in. This is making sense. Drop a one in the chat. This is making sense of like how you can really get better as a trader and building confidence. This is another way to build confidence on the charts. Study the patterns. What are red flags of that pair? What are the green flags of that pair? Like, you know for a fact that, oh man, it's doing it again. It's going to sell. I'm getting in. Oh, hey, it's doing it again. It's forming that pattern again. It's buying. And you see the repetition. The history repeats itself. The market repeats itself. And so people who understand market cycles, they know what stocks to buy into right now. They know what kind of investment and technologies to get into. If I know that AI is here, I'm going to invest into AI companies. I'm going to invest my time into being educated and do research on AI because it's here. I put it like this. If the banks are looking into something like a technology, so think about it. If the banks are looking into some kind of technology, some kind of investment, they're making some kind of move, you as a consumer should definitely be looking at it too. Because think about it, we give our money to the banks in the first place. So if you think about it, how do the banks have money to invest in that technology if we're putting money into those banks as consumers? And they're going to invest into it by the billions of dollars, not just millions, the billions of dollars. That might be something you want to look into. So hope that answers your question for those who are looking at certain currency pairs and what you can do to study. So my analysis on gold, hope that helps. My analysis on gold, we just have so much consolidation here. I just don't like it. I just don't want to mess with it until it really decides to break out its consolidation. So I do like the 2047 level. I love that level. So 2045, I have been playing like Friday. I played off of this huge wick right here in the 2040 level. So I would love for any level to come in this 2040 range. I could be definitely looking for some kind of selling opportunities just because the market's been, every time it's come to this point, it's dropped. So maybe I definitely would love to look into a play 2040 to 2050 range. Definitely looking for plays on gold there. If I was looking for, that's for selling opportunities. If I was looking for buying opportunities, I would want the market, as you guys can see, plain and clear down here. I'm looking for any kind of buying momentum on gold anywhere in the 2000 levels. Before I even start considering any kind of bullish move or any kind of bearish move, I definitely will be looking at gold in the 2000 range to make a play, just because we know utilizing colors, looking at certain market structure. The market's been here multiple times. It's rejected. So I'll be looking for any kind of bullish opportunity on gold just to give me the best risk to reward ratio in the 2000 range. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for that. But if I'm looking for selling opportunities for gold, I will be looking in the 2040 to 2050 range for any kind of play. But if the market does anything like this, boom, I'm buying it. And if the market does anything like this, break, retest, and a drop, we definitely could be looking for sells. But something we have to pay attention. Something we definitely got to pay attention for gold. Gold has been in this range all the way down here in the 1970 level 21 times. Gold has bounced off of the 1975 level 21 times. So if gold has spent its time and energy to come to this level and reject it, I just have a feeling there is some money down here. There's either a conversation happening with the big money movement market makers saying that, yeah, we just can't let gold go anywhere lower than 1975. We just can't do that. We're not gonna allow that to happen. We are not gonna allow gold to drop anywhere lower than 1975, 1980 range. So if this week, if the market comes down to those levels, I'm definitely going to lean more towards what is happening, because also, let's look at holistically, gold overall in a trend is actually pretty bullish. We've learned from recessions that when the value of a currency goes down, the value of the commodity goes up. It becomes more expensive. When the value of a currency drops, the commodity goes up in price. So we understand that gold has been on a bullish trend since March 23rd of this year. Well, it's been bullish. Let me see when it really kicked. Yeah, March 8th of 2023 this year. So for the past 2 months, gold has spent its time in a bullish uptrend for 2 months now. So it's going to take, and I'll put it like this, the market moves off of energy. Everything is based off of energy in life. It's going to take a lot of energy for gold to switch directions. And for something, right, we know, I think it was what, Newton's law or something like that energy is neither created or destroyed, it's always transferred. There's going to be some kind of force that has to come into the market and cause gold to be bearish again. So something to think about when we're looking for plays in the market. So we're looking for oil on some bearish and bullish pairs. I'll give you guys that play. My focus is definitely going to be on gold. So I'm definitely going to have a lot of eyes on gold this week. That's just like what I like to trade. So gold, I'm looking at some bullish opportunities on gold if it breaks 2055 and above, or if we get a rejection in the 2040 range to the 2055 range, we are definitely going to be getting into some bearish movement. I love a rejection from there, and I get that to drop. If I want to look for a buying opportunity, I would love a rejection from the 2000 even levels. Anywhere from there. But if I want something to drop into 1990, 1980, we definitely need a break and retest of the 2000 range, the 1990 range, before we can start looking for plays dropping into that lower level. So that is gold. We went over gold and we went over oil. Drop a 2 in the chat if you guys are good so far on gold and oil. And does anybody have any questions so far about what we're looking at for the market, what we should be expecting, news, or is everybody okay so far? Sweet. Drink your water, kids. Get some water. Spring water. Shout out. All right. Now, the only indice I'm going to be looking over into today will be NASDAQ. Also known as US Tech if you are using colors. US Tech 100. But other people use it as NAS 100 and the NASDAQ for stocks. So looking at NAS, now you guys know I scout NAS specifically, so we're going to do a lot of smaller movement for NAS. I particularly don't care too much about the overall swing, but last week, I caught this whole drop and I cried. I was so proud of myself. I was like, yo, I'm going to catch this drop. And I knew NAS was going to sell. I just knew it had to fall. And what screamed in my head that NAS was going to drop and try to clear this stuff out, and I can show you, was literally because of this imbalance right here. And I'm going to put it in a bigger time frame so you guys know what I'm talking about. This imbalance, when news came out inflation rates came out, this mess, whatever this was, the market needed to correct itself. So when this came out on May 10th, which would have been last Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Man, on Friday, I needed to catch this move, and we caught it. So Nas definitely did its thing. So on a swinging perspective, we're still bullish. Nas is still in a bullish trend. If you're looking for a swing of things, Nas is pretty bullish still, based off of the 1 hour time frame, of course. So Nas pretty bullish overall. But we all know that when we trade Nas or US 30 and stuff like that on our MetaTrader 4s, it does not take a big lot size to make a lot of money. Right? If you have the capital to make a big trade, cool, great. But you can get a lot of bread out of indices. We know this because of lot sizes and based off of pip counts and ratios and stuff. If you don't understand that, please hit me on the side, hit me on my Instagram, hit my phone number, hit the group chat. And I would definitely love to sit down with you more one-on-one to explain that. But, that's what we look for indices. So, been killing it with, you see, like literally 0.01s and 0.02s, it does, those lot sizes themselves does not, wait, Zion, we have to be straight about this though. Let's just be truthful. Let's be truthful. Just because you use a 0.01 and a 0.02, those lot sizes may not always apply depending upon the brokerage you trade with. So a lot of non-regulated brokers, you can see a lot of profitability using a 0.01 and 0.02 with non-regulated brokers. Okay. A broker that I've been looking into and studying is a regulated broker called Sway Markets. So I haven't used Sway Markets yet on 0.01s and 0.02s for NAS, but that is a regulated broker in the United States, Sway Markets, if you guys are looking at that. Regulated brokers, you might have to do a bigger lot size. Or sometimes these brokers don't even allow you to get in the indices if you don't even have enough money in the account, right? So if you don't even have enough money in the account, you can't even trade indices straight up. So please, it's always encouraged when you guys are trading on your MetaTrader 4s or your 5s, have your demo account. This is, great question, Zion. Which is good? It don't matter. Everybody's making money off of all of them. So a good way for you to figure that out, set up a demo. Set up a demo. Practice. Play around with it. Learn the leverage. Learn what the lot sizes do. The pip to your profit ratios. Figure that kind of stuff out on the demo. That's what demos are for. It's for you to practice. You don't need to fund up. Demos are a great way. Treat it as what your live would be. Have that same mentality. That's what I did for indices. That's what I did for NAS. I think for 5.5 months, I just traded NAS on my demo. I scalped it up and down, until I got to a groove of comfortability. Now I can send signals every day. And they're pretty dang close. Am I winning every time? No, but they're pretty close. And I've been making money off of them. So, hey, and I don't need a lot. I just like to be consistent. So, I'll actually go into NAS right now for us today. So, a couple things I look into NAS. I always look at Wicks. Wicks. For NAS 100. Wicks are important to me because those show me levels of structure, support, resistance, etc. So I always look to look at wicks for NAS because I don't like to get wicked out. I don't like to get played with them. So a couple things I like to do, I always start with the 15-minute time frame. That gives me more of my higher time frame analysis. Because if I'm scalping NAS from a smaller time frame, from the 5-minute to 1-minute time frame, then my trend overall studying that is definitely going to be in the 15-minute range. Like, I'm not really going to go a lot higher than that because I'm not looking to swing NAS. I'm not looking to get a long-term play out of it. I'm getting short-term, so I need to stay in a short-term mindset. And that's perfectly fine. If you're looking to swing it, please, my guest. But this is how I like to analyze it. So I want to, dive into your mind, show you guys what I look at first. So I always look at wicks. I mark them off. And I always look at maybe like 1 to 2 different levels, maybe 3, but I always got to look for something in the bullish area and then also for the bottom area as well. Shout out to everybody joining the live for the Mother's Day's cook up. We talking trading, we talking money. So y'all drop y'all questions on Instagram. Anything y'all want to learn about money, trading, stocks, investing, game, websites, apps, whatever, drop it in the comments, family. And I definitely will answer all your questions on social media. So we have our bullish ranges and then we have our bearish ones. So I'm looking for little wicks, like a wick like that, and maybe a wick down here. So we have our 15-minute levels pretty much marked off. And seriously, guys, if I have 4 solid levels marked off, I'm good for almost a whole week. Like, I don't have to do any more kind of markups because the market likes to repeat itself. And 9 times out of 10, the market will come back to these levels some way, shape, or form. So I don't have to do a lot of marking up NAS throughout the week. I really don't. And now, since we have our 15-minute levels marked up, let's go to our 5-minute levels. So a lot of people like to ask me, and that's almost to a T. Look at these levels to a T. These are wicks to the T. So if I don't want to put myself in a position to be wicked in prematurely, because guess what? Some of us have jobs. Some of us can't be on our phones all the time. So when I'm sending pending orders, okay, someone just asked me this great question. You trade a live account? If so, what is your normal risk to reward ratio? So I will answer that question in these ways. If I am looking to trade a currency pair, I like a good 2-to-1 ratio. Currency pairs, 2-to-1 ratio. That's just my preference. All right, so these are your USD CADs, USD JPYs, GBP JBYs, USD CADs. These are my golds, my oils. So any metals, currency pairs, I'm definitely looking for at least 1-to-2 ratio trades. If I'm going to trade a crypto, so my Bitcoin, Ethereum traders, my Ripple traders, I need a minimum of 1-to-3. Crypto's way more volatile, so at least I want a good 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio for crypto trades. If I decide to day trade a crypto, I typically don't day trade cryptos. I like to do a what is called dollar cost averaging. So I just like to put $10 in Ethereum every 2 weeks, $10, $20, and I just built that habit. Just like you should be doing with your savings account, put a little money in the savings, like $5 and $10 in the savings every single paycheck you get. I do that with cryptos too. $10, $20. And I stay consistent. I don't go anything more above that. Even if I have a great trading day, I only put $20 into a crypto. So if I'm going to day trade a crypto, I'm looking 1-to-3 risk to reward ratios for cryptos. And then for indices, 1-to-1. NAS, US 30 and SPX. But for NAS 100 specifically, I look for 1-to-1s only because I'm scalping them and I'm not holding them long term. I'm looking to get my bag and get out. So 1-to-1. And that's worked for me. Does that work for everybody? No. But that's what I like to work with. But I practiced that on my demo for 5.5 months before I even did it on my live account. Even on my funded account, I do the same thing too. 1-to-1. I treat everything the same. So hope that answered your question. 47 Damon. Let me know if that answered your question. Hope that helped. Now we're on the 5-minute time frame. Let's check this out. If I'm going to set up a setup for myself, I'm going to put some lines here. I'm going to look maybe 5 to 10 points because NAS moves in points. It doesn't move in pips. Well, let's give you some numbers. For every 1 point that NAS moves, that's 10 pips. So if I'm saying points, just know that it's pips. Okay. So understand the difference in that. If I'm looking to get into a trade setup, I will love to look anywhere to 5 to 10 points above or below structure for a TP or an entry point. So let's say we're going to look at NAS for a bullish idea, and I'm probably going to send this tomorrow. I'm going to look at 5 points above just because previous market wick came up and wicked this and rejected. So I know that's a strong level. Then I also see in the past that the market has come through here and is returned. So, but I see this 1406 that can cause me some trouble. So I would love to put 13405 as my entry point and then 1410 as my TP. Nice little 5 points and 5 points and amount, which would be 50 pips. But due to this level up here, 14, 13,406. I'm going to be smart and I'm going to look at 1410 for my level. So 410. And now if I drag this level back in the past, I noticed that 13,410, there's no, when the market comes to this level, yeah, it turns around a little bit, but I have confidence that if I set an entry, I like for it to clear out and take me out. So I'm going to look for a level maybe 5 to 10 points above that previous structure for my buy stop entry, and then my take profit 5 to 10 points above that. And sells would be the same thing as well. I would like market to break this 13,349 and get a level below that, like 13345, 13340 to be safe. And I'll get a level right down here, mark this off, and then get for a take profit anywhere below those levels. So we'll review the currency pairs, but if you guys want a pair to go over, please drop that in the chat. But that is my analysis. I'm going to answer the questions on social media, but for people on Zoom right now, drop a currency pair that we definitely can look over. You want to get some analysis on before we head out for the day. So someone just asked, so I'm on MetaTrader. If you get paid for the amount of pips it moves, so if I do a lot size for 100 and it moves 30 to 40 pips, is that 3K? I would need to know the lot size. You just say lot size for 100. Is that $100 per pip? Or are you saying that's $10 per pip? You got to be a little bit more specific with that to give you an answer. EU and GJ. All right, let's look at EU. Euro, USD. One of the most popular and most stable currency pairs in the entire market. 10, is that $10 per pip? Is that what you're saying? A 0.10 lot? EU, bearish. That should be your idea. Bearish. Okay, so a 0.1 lot. If I use a 0.1 lot size, meaning that's $10 per pip, that's actually $1 per pip. A 10.0 lot. So 10.0 lot is, I did the math in my head. 1.0 is $10 per pip. So a 10-point lot is $100 per pip. So if it's $100 per pip, 30 pips, that's 3K, 4K. Yep, you answered your own question. Yep. A 10.0 lot size for 30 to 40 pips is $3,000. All right, EU, bearish. That's all I got to say about it. We can see that the trend changed, like very clearly changed. And here's when it changed. The moment the market broke this box, retested and dropped. So we had all three of these levels of support. They came to this area, came up, down, reject, came up, down, reject. But then it came down, broke, retested, respected, meaning it didn't come back up and try to go back up again. It respected it here and continued its downward momentum. It found itself a lower low down here. So I would love for it to, pull back, give us a lower high, find some entries. Let's say, and this is blind. I don't really study EU, but I'm just giving like sure market structure here. Maybe a good 30 pip, 35, 45 pip stop loss right at this area of structure that was broken. Maybe get a sell limit here, maybe a sell limit down here with a pop entry maybe. So maybe it's, solid 63 pip lot size, stop loss. Swing this down to the bottom of this box. 169 pip move. You got about 2-to-1 risk reward ratio on EU. Go for it. I like it. So I definitely can see EU being bearish this week. Depending upon what news does, right? We can't always, everything's not guaranteed, right? You got to understand everything's not guaranteed, but we would like to see this movie come to this area and then drop off. Now for the next pair was, Zion. Was that good for EU, bro? Okay, great. Cool. Now let's look at GJ. I missed the sell on GJ that happened on this. I had my eyeballs on it and I completely missed the sell off, but it's okay. And then we're going to go into UJ for my boy Ron. GJ. All right. This drop I missed and I was sick to my stomach. I said, oh, this was at least a 300 pip drop and I missed it. From first glance, GJ is bullish. Why? Lower low, higher high, lower high. We had the market respect. It didn't break this, meaning it didn't continue the trend. So something that we got to be conscious of for GJ is a couple things that got to happen from a long-term perspective. If we want the market to come in, it respected his level support. As we can see, it respected this level. So we can most likely see, we would love to see something along the lines of maybe a buy up, a respect of this level, and for it to continue in the uptrend. We would love to see that to happen for GJ. So something that we can see is we definitely want this to be more of a longer term play for a swing. But if we're looking for maybe more of an intraday kind of play for GJ, if we zoomed in on it, I would go for buying opportunities on GJ for any more kind of an intraday play. And understand, family, this is not a small distance. Like from 169.6 to 170.6, it's 100 pips. That's nothing small. Now, and we can also see the bullish momentum on GJ is crazy on colors. We got green candlesticks, green trend line, green box, green. We just need some volume. Like volume is not on GJ. It's actually above. So, hey, you got yourself a nice little bullish idea on GJ. So let's say we're taking a trade on GJ right now. I'm going to get my long position tool. We'll get this level. Let's say we do a market X play right now on GJ. If I was looking for a solid stop loss, meaning a good stop loss area, I would love, this is where my wicks come in. Check out. You see this wick level right here at 168.5? Let's get it below that. So I would like my stop loss. Maybe this gray line is actually perfect. It respects this level, these wicks. I don't want to get wicked out. What's up to my man Carlos? Join the live. What's up, my boy? And that's a good little 80, 87, 80 pip. But if you want to do round a whole number, 90 pips for a stop loss for this bullish play on GJ. And if we want a good little take profit, I would say ride this up 150 pips, 151 pips to 170.731. We could set a take profit at the 50-point mark to give us a TP1. So a good TP would be 169.7. That gives us 60 pips. We can get a take profit too at the next area of structure right here by the EC candle at 170.131. That would give us roughly 90 pips of a TP2, TP3 at 150 pips. So I actually like this setup for GJ. I'm actually going to take this. When we're done with this call, I'm going to take this trade. I like it. I like the setup for it. So I like this markup a lot for GJ, actually. So I might actually drop this in the chat. I'm taking it now. So actually, I'll drop this in the chat for us right now. See if there's a way to, yeah, you could drop the chart actually. Copy chart image. Let's drop it on the Telegram. So this was my bullish play for GJ. Buying GBP, JPY. I'm going to drop that in our other Telegram chats. If you guys want my markup for GBP, JPY, message me on the side. I'll definitely send you my markup idea. I like this bullish move for GBP, JPY bullish. I marked off the stop loss and the take profits on there as well on the chart. My boy Q said to look at US 30, so I'll definitely take a look at that as well. Zion, I'm going to drop the markup in fire as well too. So I'm going to go potential, GBP, JPY, market X. And Zion, if you don't mind, bro, can you put the parameters in the chat? If you don't mind putting that in the chat, bro, the parameters from the colors chart, I'll be appreciated, bro. while we're here. Okay. So DJ for the buy. And then lastly, we're going to look at UJ as well. All TPs as well. Yeah, why not? Give the TPs. Oh, USD JPY. Dude, this looks super bullish. Like, do we see? Wow. Yeah, UJ got a lot of bullish, man. This is bullish by the yard. Like, UJ, bullish too. Bullish on UJ. And reason being, let's just take this. Let's just think basic trading, what we've learned, trading 101. Trading 101. Check this out. Everybody likes to do this on social media. Double bottom, right? It broke. But here's the thing. Here's the thing why I like UJ. Remember, we talk about trend reversals, right? Double bottom is a trend reversal. It was on a downtrend, and then it reversed trend. But here's why I say that. We always have to look for price to break and respect the level first. So when you notice UJ, it broke this level here, and we'll zoom in on it so you guys can actually clearly see. So we'll zoom in on it. You guys just notice how UJ broke through this level. But what we haven't seen is a clear retest of this level of structure that has been broken. So if we want to be patient to see if the uptrend that's already been on UJ for months, guys, notice how the Japanese yen's been getting weaker because the dollar gets stronger. It's been in an uptrend since March 2023. March 24th specifically. And it's been an uptrend, and it wants to continue its uptrend. If I want to be more of a safer or more confident entry, I would love price to come back to the 135.395 range or this yellow box. If I would love to get a good, clean break, retest, hold the retest, and then get a buy opportunity. So if I wanted to set up UJ for a bullish play, I can get a level right here in the middle of the box. 50 pips would be excellent. Excellent stop loss. And excellent stop loss is here. And I would love to get a bullish play. But I'm going to take this a little bit further. Something that I've been noticing. And then we'll go ahead and look at US30. And then we'll be out. What I've learned something, there's something that we like to call imbalance in the market. The market doesn't want to move out of equilibrium. The market likes to be stable. It's just like people's emotions. We want to be as stable as possible. So notice something with UJ that's been occurring. You guys see this big green candle, and then it does a little chop, and then it drops, and then it chops, and then it buys. This big candle had no sense of balance, meaning that there are orders down here that didn't get filled yet. So then a big bearish candle comes in and balances out the market. It balances out. Then it did it again over here on this specific candle. Notice how there's no signs of any kind of pullback, any kind of 50% retracement on this candle specifically. So something that we can be aware of when it comes to UJ. Yes, we would like the market to hold this level, reject. That'd be great. But I would also not be surprised if the market comes up, drops to make up this 50% balance and the structure that it broke down here. I would not be surprised if the market breaks, pulls all the way back into these levels here, then holds, then takes off. So there's kind of like two different ways, UJ can play. So we can have this and then the drop and then the buy off. So definitely stuff that we could, pay attention to and look out for the future. So we went over a lot of pairs today. We went over oil. We went over gold. We went over NAS. We went over GJ, EU, and UJ. The last pair we're going to go over is US30, and then we are out of here. And we went over the news for the week. So everybody should know what news is coming out this week. So US scored 30. All right, let's dive into it. Let's dive into US 30. Now, I don't mess with US 30 a lot, but based off of my first impression of US 30, I see consolidation. There's not really a clear indication from a long-term perspective. US 30, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Index, or the Dow Jones Average, the Dow Jones Industrial Index, however you want to look at it, however you want to pronounce it. I see consolidation. It's really not a decisive movement from it. But if I wanted to go with, okay, I want more of a confident trade idea, I would go bearish. And the reason why I want to go bearish is because of the market sentiment. Everybody, the recession is looming. People are, want the money, and businesses are trying to figure out what's going on, and the dollar being challenged. So my confidence towards what the market is doing is going to be a little bit more bearish overall. So does US 30 have a lot of room to go buy up and go here? Please be my guest. Make your money in this range. A lot of money be here. That's not my cup of tea. This is not my squeeze. So I would like the market to definitely get into this level before I do any kind of plays, and I would love it to drop. That's kind of my sentiment and my bias for US 30. I definitely love the market to come back to this level. It's been proven 6 times. It's not going to really happen, no. But if I want to make any kind of play on US 30 for anything, I would love for it to come back to at least a more decisive, solid level of support and resistance before I make any kind of plays. So it can go in here, break, retest, and buy, or it could definitely go in and come down, retest, and sell. So definitely what I would like to definitely look into that as well for it. So that's my US 30 play. But cool. All right. So that is my market setups. We're going to get in GJ right now. That's one of the only confident trades I have for today, but US 30, everything else, these are kind of my analysis for it. But how y'all feeling? Scale of 1 to 10. Y'all feeling good? Do we miss any currency pairs? Do we have any questions for this week? Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you feeling? Ready to get into the market? Ready to get a game? We're set up. We know what's coming. Okay, get your water up too. Drink water, kids. All right, give you the rundown for the rest of the week. So today we went over market review. Monday we're having colors. I'm going to be diving deep into colors part 1, colors part 2 on Tuesday, colors part 3 on Wednesday. Thursday, I'll end the week off. We'll go over back office stuff at IBO. And then also as well, some more announcements just to let you guys know what's going on. Website is being made. I will be beginning to, once I get everything set up after my birthday, by the end of this week, by the end of this month, I'm definitely going to be hopping into Twitch streaming. So I will be Twitch streaming trading. So like TBX trading, colors trading, stock trading. I'm going to be going live on Twitch. I want to bring my goal, one of my goals, is something I always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make trading entertaining, and I'm kind of tired of just like people not making trading this very fun thing that you can get lit, you can get excited, you can have fun. And I'm a very extroverted personality, so I was like, you know what, F it. So I'm gonna start Twitch streaming soon, so be on the lookout for that. Twitch streaming my trading, stuff like that. I'll upload more YouTube, like stuff like this. So trainings are gonna be uploaded on YouTube all the time, so people can get the game. You guys can get the game. June 8th through the 11th, we have the Atlanta link up. So for those who want to come to Atlanta to link up with the gang, please let me know. We have a confirmed 12 people in attendance already. So for those who have family, those who want to come out to Atlanta, please definitely let me know if you are coming. So we're going to definitely crank that out. It's going to be a great time, June 8th through June 11th in Atlanta, Georgia. That's going to be fun. We know that I will then also in September is the Croatia trip. So for those who are going to Croatia, we have the convention out in Croatia. Definitely going to be putting a lot of energy towards that convention myself. More than I want to go to Europe. I want to go out of the country. So, and then last but not least, 2024, I already said it, going into a tour, 2024. Like we said, we have 15 cities on lock. I'm looking to try to get 20 but I think 15 will be just enough. I think it'll be just perfect for the tour. So if you want to be somebody to work with the tour, you want somebody to speak at the events, you want want me to come to your city, I love to. Let's do it. Let's get right. Let's have some fun with this, man. So 2024 for the tour. But outside of that, family, all of us are locked in. I want to give you guys a little bit of mindset before we head into the week, and then we out of here. So something I was contemplating in my car while I was getting Chipotle. Our lives are really determined upon the decisions that we make. And not because we're just making decisions to make decisions. Like, I like to look at it as, if I'm going to make a decision, the decision that I make is going to affect the experience that I have. And that is going to determine the lesson that I'm going to learn. It's almost like there's a step to this. Decision comes first, then the experience, then the lesson. Because it's like, how am I going to learn something if I don't experience it first? But how am I going to experience something if I don't decide to enter into that decision, or if I don't decide to do something, right? So I think you as a trader, and we as investors, and we as people, don't be so hooked up on the lesson that you're going to learn, because a lot of times you can't learn the lesson yet until you make a decision first. You can't even allow yourself to learn something unless you decide to sit down and learn, and then you get the experience of the learning, and then a lesson comes from that. So I challenge you guys this week, and I challenge you guys, for the rest of this month, and even in your life, what kind of high quality decisions are you making that allows you to experience something? So if you want to experience, let's say, being super profitable, or you want to experience meeting someone new, if you want to experience trying something different, you have to decide, do I want to do that thing? Do I even want to allow myself to experience that? And if you're not deciding in your head to allow yourself to experience that, then you're never going to get there. It all starts with that decision. Make the conscious decision first, and then you can have the experience. Once you have the experience, don't get mad at yourself for making the decision. Because a lot of us make bad decisions. Don't beat yourself over the decisions you made. Judge yourself if you are going to continue to learn and be better after you've learned your lesson. Because now, after that point, once you've learned your lesson and you continue to make the next decision, if you continue to make another decision after you learn the lesson, now we have full right to judge, because you made the decision, you experienced it, and you learned your lesson. And you learned your lesson. What's up, Q? You've learned your lesson. And now you decide to make the same decision that gave you the same experience, that taught you the same lesson. Now you're in a state of insanity. And that's going to have to fall on you. You have to take responsibility of that. You have to ask yourself, like, okay, am I making the best decision here? Can I make a different decision? Can I do something different so I can get a different experience? So then I can learn what? A different lesson. So, family, that was my market review. I had you guys for an hour and 20 some minutes. So be on the lookout for everything going on. I love you guys so much. Let's have a great and amazing trading week. You guys stay safe. You guys be blessed. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow for the next training at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you all. Good night.